Okay, and excuse me, welcome back. Let's see here. When did we do this one? Trying to figure out when the last time I recorded was. This was, gosh, what the hell is wrong with that one? June 26th, that was 3 days ago. I guess I didn't get any views on that. Interesting. But I've gotten consistently pretty good views on all my other videos, so I'm pretty pleased. But anyway, we're back to Minecraft. Tonight we're gonna, and it is a little bit later this time, but that's alright. We're gonna go ahead and continue where we left off. One thing I'd like to do is a Twilight Forest quest. Another thing I'd like to do, let's go ahead and complete that tier 1 rocket. Let's start with the rocket today. So I went ahead and made a bunch of heavy duty plates. Now, we kind of discussed this on a previous episode, but in order to make the tier 1 rocket, we need a whole bunch of those heavy duty plates. We need a few additional items. We need this engine, nose cone, and 4 fins. Each fin looks like that. So the truth is we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4, 16 fins for the plates there, for the fins, 16. We're going to need 4 more for that, so up to 20, and 23. So we need 23 total, and we have 14, so we need to keep going with that. So let's go ahead and do some of this here. Oh man, we've got our fuel all done. That we're going to need for that. So let's use our compressor. And again, we do steel, aluminum, bronze. Bronze is obtained by copper plus 10. Can I do that with the compressed stuff? No. So if I just do that, oh, that's our aluminum. Sorry about that. Okay, and then so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stick this bronze. We'll get that bronze going. And then while that's going, I can get a little bit more copper going. And then I really need to get some steel going. So let me do that. In order to get steel, you have to do iron first. So let's get the iron going there. And I need some regular coal. She's got it right there. Oh, been making progress on my little tower here. I mean, you probably saw a little bit of this last time, but I've been doing some ornamental work with this nether brick, and I think that looks pretty good, don't you? If I keep going up, and then when I get to the second level, maybe potentially come out a little bit. Maybe I'll wait till the third level to come out a little bit, but you know, a tower doesn't come to a point. It actually goes outward as it goes up, contrary to like physics, you know. And I've got my 2 solar arrays. I'm not sure if we had this last time, or last time I worked on Galacticraft, but I've got 2 solar arrays, which is great. Provides sufficient power for most things that I do. Okay, so that's going to create almost all that we need. I need 1 more coal there. And I'll just let that keep going for a minute. And in the meantime, let me do something like this. Okay, and so again, we need aluminum, steel, and bronze. So I could start doing some aluminum after this, I guess. Or I could keep doing with bronze. But let's just use up this aluminum real quick. And I got some experience for that too. By the way, I was able to... Well, actually, I was not able to repair my other pickaxe for some reason. I'm so, like, bad at, like, generic stuff like this. But when I went to go repair this guy, it says too expensive, and I don't know what that means. Like, holy shit. Yeah, I don't even know what this means, too expensive, but I couldn't get it to work, so oops, I just made a new one. I just enchanted a new pickaxe. And I got better enchantments anyway, so efficiency, unbreaking, and looting. Looting being the cool one there, so that's actually pretty good. Okay, and then let's do some bronze. And then, yeah, actually, we're getting in pretty good shape there. Let me put my copper away. I don't really need that. Could get some more aluminum, but I think that's actually going to be pretty good. And I'll do one more. Okay, and that's going to be it for now. Now what I do, is if I can remember what order these are in. There we go. Put the aluminum away, put the bronze away. Again, we're going for 23. We're going to have a little bit of extra, which is not a bad thing. I am going to need, if I remember correctly, a little bit more iron as well. And of course I don't have any on standby, so I'm going to have to craft some. Boy, we're running low on iron. I really should think about creating that iron farm already. I've been making gold and nether brick as well. I guess potatoes. Ooh. Okay. So, with that... okay, so we actually only had one extra. So let's make the... oh, we finished our Taiga Citizen 2. They're going to make a farmer, or upgrade the farmer there. So in order to make this, I need a button, a steel and flint and steel. I need a tin or copper canister, which is fine, and then the oxygen vent. What do I need for that? Compressed steel and compressed tin. Great. Okay, so we're going to have to make some tin up here. And that's fine. And then you definitely need some iron as well, but let's get this going here. And then grab that. Okay. So I already have compressed tin. Okay, well, I guess I have a little bit more now. Okay, so with compressed tin, and then I need, was it iron? Steel. So I just need one steel. So let's just grab 4 iron. Okay, so I'll let that go, and then let's take a look at the other components. The nose cone just needs a redstone torch. We can easily do that. Let me grab a flint and steel as well. And I need a button. Okay. Okay, and then I'll make all but one of these into steel. Actually, I'll make all of those into steel. Okay. So that's going to create my thing there. Do I have a canister left? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. And... yeah, that should be fine. Gonna do that one. And these are... and I need 4 I need, what, total of 8? Yeah, I'm going to need 8 compressed steel there, so I'm going to need more iron. But we're getting very close to having everything we need here. Okay, so with that, let me just start making some of these components now. So let's start out with the easy one, the nose cone, which is just that. Alright. And then the oxygen one, I believe, was that. Yes, oxygen vent. And then we do this to make the engine. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Okay. And then we need exactly 4 more compressed steel, which we should be able to do here. Okay, so 4 more compressed steel there. And that'll be enough for the fins, and then we can actually assemble this puppy. Now I'm not going to launch it today, we're just going to assemble it. So I'm very excited about that. I can't remember the last time I had a rocket put together with Galacticraft. And then we're going to need to like load it with fuel and stuff. It gets a little complicated, but you know, that's why we're breaking it up step by step. Making the rocket is today. I should go check on my mine colonies, people. I've done a lot of expansion, as you can probably see over here. If this is the center of town, I realized I could build all the way out to here, so, you know, my town can get a little bit bigger, and it will. So I'm building along this lake right now currently, and that's where a lot of my new buildings are going in. We're going to have to work with spreading some grass. Maybe I'll even just connect it up with this forest. We'll see. But that's kind of what's the long-term plan for the growth of the town, which is always exciting. Like, that mod in and of itself is pretty cool. Okay, so what we need to do now, make these fins, is just pretty basic shape. Okay, and somehow I dramatically underestimated the amount of okay, so I need eight more heavy-duty plates, and I've got 1. Okay, so that's my bad on that. So let's make the iron part of it first. And we're going to need bronze and aluminum. Okay, we've got the materials, we just have to actually create it. In the meantime, maybe I should create some more tin wall blocks. Stone with compressed tin. I mean, you can not have too many of those, honestly. And I've got plenty of compressed tin, so basically that, plus that. And that's pretty good. So let's get these guys in here. And we'll keep doing that whenever we feel like adding some more materials to ourselves, because those things are used in our space stations, and basically when we build in space, that's the most important material that we're going to be using. So that's our basic building block, and that's not a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, I'll probably want to go ahead and compress this tin that's here and make that into more tin wall blocks. But in the meantime, 6, 7, 8. I think that's how many I need. So it does 2 at a time, so it's gonna, I think that's gonna create 8 if I, no, I'm gonna need, okay, that many. Okay. So basically I'm gonna need 16 bronze as well. But it's coming along nicely, so I'm not gonna complain. We're very close to being ready to complete this rocket. They are fairly expensive, but they're a lot of fun. Okay, there's the bronze coming in. And then we'll just combine these together to make 8 of these. In the meantime, I guess I could harvest a little sugarcane. I've been progressively trading with my villagers to get emeralds. It's a very long process, but the sugarcane is one of these things that actually it's pretty easy to make tradable goods with. Paper to our cartographer and librarian. And sugarcane is fairly easy to obtain. Okay, so I'll let that go. And then we will build our rocket. Tier 1 rocket will have space for some various things. I think batteries or cargo. I can't remember exactly. But we will have to use the NASA workbench to build this puppy, and we might as well start plugging things in here. I guess it didn't take. I guess I have to do it all at once. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we just go to the NASA workbench here, and we go ahead and put these things on where they belong. And boom, we've got our Tier 1 rocket. Okay, so I'm going to stash this rocket in here for now. We're going to do some fun things with that in the future. But for now, I'm just going to put it right in here. And that is a good day's work, frankly. I'll go ahead and let the aluminum work its way through there. And grab the rest of this iron real quick. Just so I always like to carry iron with me. Okay, so with that, I can kind of show you a little bit about how I've been doing my tower here. Sure, why not? So obviously I just take the polished granite. This is the basic building block. And, you know, I had been just kind of going up, and I think I will go ahead and go up one more level before I actually change the shape. This level might be a little bit smaller in height. But keep in mind that the structural integrity of this building is pretty sound now, because I've got the first floor completed, and this ceiling that I'm building along here, you know, feels so solid because it's stone, you know. This just feels so solid, and that's important, I guess. So you can kind of see the process of how we would complete this kind of a building here. And it is kind of resource intensive, you know. So if you come across a little patch of granite down below, if you're going to use granite, you might have to mine it like it's actually a valuable resource as opposed to a junk block, as we usually think of granite. Now I've also, for whatever reason, decided it's a good idea to keep a little patch of grass maybe in the interior of this tower. So I've been growing this little patch. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it, but let's make a little design here out of grass. And, you know, if we need to change this around later, we can, of course. Okay, and so I feel pretty good about that. It's definitely not centered, by the way, which I'm fine with. But we'll have a little patch of grass there. We can plant a tree or something, I don't know. The shepherd's been complaining, that's the lumberjack complaining there, though, about having too full of an inventory. So you get the idea of how we're doing our tower here. Let me just make sure it's sufficiently lit up. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this tower. It's almost centered. Could move it over one, it would be centered. We'll have to see about that. But I don't know. I might move my enchanting up a level or something. Right now my Thaumcraft is taking up this space here. By the way, I figured out something. And I don't know if I explained this last time, but interesting stuff. So let's say you want to do like a particular type of oh, what would be a good one here? Could do those. Actually, should do those. This one would be good. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to take 4 zombie brains. I'm going to need a bucket of water. So in order to make V crystals for types of essentia that you don't necessarily have in abundance, you just throw in whatever. Oh, and I should put the goggles on for this. You throw in whatever aspects you want to create the V crystal for. There we go. See that? And then you just start throwing quartz shards in there, and it basically inhabits the little crystals with whatever V energy is in your thing. It can create flux if you do it wrong, so I recommend trying to be efficient about using it all up and stuff, but it's kind of a little complicated thing. There we go. And as you can see, it does start to drain over time, so you want to use it up quickly. But, you know, and then you just take little quartz and you just put them in the crafting grid. Okay. And the key is to make sure you got enough water and stuff to keep going with it. But this is a great way to get crystals of different types, and that's going to be useful for research. So that's where we were having a problem in our research a little bit there. Is not having necessarily the right V crystal to make it work. Come on. Okay, there we go. So then I basically just stick these up here, and I've got a bunch of Cognito now, and I've got some Examinus. So I've basically just been trying to create all of the different little things like that. Now, and so many different things have different, like even this carpet, you know, I could start getting some out of that. And I'm getting that Bestia. So that's a new one for me. The Fabrico is definitely new. So yeah, I mean, Herba's not new, but still pretty cool. Census wasn't new. But anyway, so that's kind of how you do that. And just different objects have different properties that you can Precantatio is one that I might want to think about. Can I get it from that? No. But I can get the poison one from that. Precantatio is kind of hard to get because it's not as ubiquitous. It's not in the Silverwood logs anymore. Which is... Ooh, Ender pearls are neat. I have Ender as Precantatio. Golden apples are probably a decent source of Precantatio. Nah, I'll save that for later, but interesting stuff. Okay, so let's just do a little bit more here. I got 7, so I need to aim for 14. So I'll do 1, 2, 3 of those. Gonna need more. I was hoping that it would go for that poison one first, because that's the one I'm really trying to get crystals for. Alchemia. Come on. It's kind of hard to aim. Come on, game. And you can create primal, like the fire one there as well, Ignis. But there's the Alchemia and more Herba. Herba I'm doing pretty good on. Okay, so that's just an example of what you can do there. Story. Here we go. Flint and steel would probably be good for the instrumentum. Well, anyway, you get the idea. So, that's enough with that. Let's go ahead and pull out our Thaumonomicon. And I'm actually going to grab a slime ball as well, and maybe a glowstone. And maybe a gunpowder. Because one of the quests for the alchemy one was to start doing this kind of stuff. So this one I need 5 Alchemia, 10 Ignis, and 10 Perdition. Now there's an easy way to do that. And if you have these crystals, you just basically take the equivalent amounts. So I'll show you this way. This is somewhat inefficient though. Because, what a waste, you know? But it's one of the quest things. It's one, so that's one way to double your gunpowder there. But, you know, the slime ball, it's water, life, and alchemia. Okay, so the more efficient way to do that, the crystals are useful for precision, but I mean, for water and all that, I mean, what's a good one for water and life? Okay, clay, actually. So, to do that one, you know, 5 water, 5 life from 1 clay. And we're looking at 5 water and 5 life, so 1 clay plus an alchemia crystal. So that isn't that a lot more efficient than 5 water, 5 you know, Victus, and then the Alchemia Crystal. Watch this. And then boom, and then boom. Whoa, shit, that did not work. Why did that not work? Oh, it's, not life, it's Earth. Okay, so that's my bad, so I'm gonna have to quickly compensate for that, just real quick, by throwing these in. Okay, there we go. So, that was my bad because... Oh, can I do more? No. Okay. Yeah, my bad on that. So, but that's Slime Ball. Ink Sac is water, 2 Bestia, and 5 Census. So, I know that paper, for example, has Census. And what? No, it doesn't have... what's one that has Census? Some of the flowers have Census. Okay, so I'm looking for 2 water, 2 Bestia, 5 Census. So if I take a flower, there's my 5 Census. I need water and Bestia. The Bestia could come from that. And then water can come from the clay again, okay. And frankly, I think I could probably do 2 of these because I'm going to have double the ingredients, so... Actually, not quite going to have double the ingredients. Oh shit, and that did not work because I think I needed the ink sac. Is that the one I'm doing? I just kind of want to complete the quest. I'll throw another flower in, and I'll do 2 of them. Okay, so that's a good way to add to your ink sacs. So you can just like do that en masse if you want to like rapidly increase these objects, like glowstone would be very useful. Now glowstone, I just need looks and census. So looks is easy, that's torches, right? How much? 10 looks, so that's 2 torches and 1 flower. So for example, I could do 4, and then I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, and that's going to be like just an example of how you can mass produce one of these things. You would, and I need to grab the glowstone, of course, but you would simply take 1 of your ingredient that you're trying to replicate, throw all that in, throw that in. And we're out of water, of course. The water thing is annoying. Come on, game. There we go. So, you know, and we've got 9 light left over. No census left over, but there's plenty of stuff there. And then, you know what you can do to clean that up? Is you can just toss in a bunch of these. And rather than let it turn into flux, capture some of that. With quartz shards. And that's probably a good practice to always do after you get done with some alchemy, is to try to clean up as much of the leftovers as possible with quartz shards. If the game will let me. Yeah, that's useful. Okay, so that's pretty much all. So then I'll put these back. And, you know, I've got a few new ones here as well. A few old ones also. Maybe I should put my primals up top like this. Yeah, that's pretty good.